Hit it. I said hit it.
Hit it indeed. Hello and good evening, everyone. We're back. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, season, 4, episode 1, Valles Marineris, aired today in 2026. But here in 2026 on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version wherever you get your podcast, our mission to watch every episode of Strange New Worlds continues. And I am your captain and host, Dave Mader. Today's episode launches season 4 with a wild mix of cosmic mystery, prehistoric danger, and predestination paradoxes that rewrite the history of Earth itself and the entire solar system. Who's got all the static? All right, we're going to figure it out and break it all down with tonight's panel. Let's bring in the group here who is going to be discussing this with me tonight. Starting first, he's following the motives, the resources, and the economics of survival, the Martians' desperation, and the doldrums conflict, and the cost of altering a planet's fate. If someone is hiding the real story, he's already found the leak. Adam Woodward.
Hey, I can't wait to talk about this. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning to watch it because I had to drive to North Bay and back today, which is like 7 hours of driving round trip. So long day, but man, that was a great start to the day.
Yeah. Introducing this next man because I want him to fix his background static noise. He's our resident vegan and podcast aficionado, always ready to empathize with misunderstood species, even if they have claws, mandibles, or ancient Martian armor. He is tuned into the biology, the ethics, and the science behind the paradox. It's Chris Worldmind Murphy.
Everything is Jurassic Park when Mars attacks.
Yes. You have a lot. Okay, it's getting better. Your gain was super high before. Go down, Chris.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
All right. Yeah, this is what happens when we don't sound check you before the podcast. All right.
And Dave's gone.
Oh no.
Critical failure on Dave's computer. Oh no. Well, with that, I guess we'll come up with a witty banter. She always comes in with sound and sage advice, has wonderful and fantastic quiz-like behavior. Our very own Ashley Millard.
Hi, I got my dinosaur earrings on. I'm ready to celebrate.
Let's go.
Dinosaurs in Star Trek.
We've been waiting for this day for far, far too long.
Yes. 65 million years.
Who knew the Enterprise started at all? And with that, on the final panel, he's casual and he's always saying, "Don't be an asshole, and everything will be all right." We got our own Jim Kaz.
I kind of like the truncated version of the intro. And holy crap, guys! I'm in the title sequence now. That was awesome. That was a nice little treat for me. I just got a message from Dave. He said that his computer just rebooted out of nowhere. So
nice. We love Microsoft here.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yes. And the captain is back.
I'm back. Sorry, I never know when this is going to happen, and it just goes. Your computer is had a critical error, and we're rebooting whether you like it or not. And then,
Or
I'm
maybe
back.
you hit a solar storm and you went back in time.
Maybe I would only be so lucky. You know,
You
Gotcha.
lost
You're
contact for
done.
a few minutes.
right. So, did we get Jim introduced? Is that what happened?
Yes.
We
Yes.
did. We got Jim and
Okay.
Ashley introduced.
All right, Jim, welcome.
Hello. And
Hello.
Dave, thank you for putting me into the intro sequence. I am super jazzed about that. That was awesome.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yes, got Ashley added because Kevin was in the old version of the credits, and I don't think he ever did one of these podcasts in the first 3 seasons. So
I think
I was
he's
like,
done,
I really got up to.
Actually, I
think
can
he's
tell
done one
you,
or two.
Ashley and Kevin introduced season 3. It was last summer. Last summer, yes.
Yeah.
It was opening 2 episodes they did together.
That's right. They did when I couldn't do it. I stand corrected. So Kevin's been here, but I'd say Ashley's been here more often on the Strange New Worlds specifically. But so welcome everybody. Glad to have the panel back. We are talking about the 31st episode overall of Star Trek Strange New Worlds that came out today, July 23rd, 2026. A story by Henry Alonzo Myers and Alan B. McElroy, with a teleplay by Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonzo Myers, and directed by Chris Fisher. So in this episode, Pike is offered a promotion to Commodore while Lon struggles with her new Vulcan discipline. That's what the synopsis says, at least. The Enterprise investigates a solar storm and discovers a distress call that pulls the ship 65 million years into the past. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen the episode. Should have maybe got that a little sooner. The episode,
Stop
the
watching
Enterprise.
now if you haven't watched. the
Stop
episode.
watching this second, but if you don't care, then it's fine too. You can stay.
Here's the thing: Paramount Plus already beat you to it because the spoiler is in the episode description.
Well, there you go.
So yeah,
Glad
it
I
is.
don't watch it on Paramount.
Even like the predestination paradox of it all, Jim.
I don't.
They-
I just turned it on, press play, and see what happens. Don't
Yeah.
read anything. Don't
Who's
watch
got
any
time to
trailers.
read? Who's
I
got
couldn't-
time to read synopsises?
I couldn't help it. It was front and center right there in big bold text. 65 million years. I'm like,
You
thanks.
know what it was? Wake up at 5 a.m. when you're not focused yet, and then you can do it.
That's me all day.
Yeah, I've never really focused.
I realized like 10 minutes in my eyes, this one I hadn't even opened.
Getting the crusties out.
Yeah, and it was a longer episode, wasn't it? Wasn't it like a 90-minute?
It was an hour.
It was a full hour. Okay,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, we
you
got an
know,
extra 15-minute cold intro.
You know what
Yeah,
else?
because
it was-
I
it
was
was
happy that it was
long.
not 2 episodes today. This one was.
I was
fine.
happy it was not 2 episodes, but I got to tell you, like, we've been doing Firefly and doing Star Trek: The Next Generation podcasts, and those episodes are like 45 minutes, and I kind of like them that they're 45 minutes
I've been
sometimes.
saying that
you
for
know.
years.
Well, what I remember reading was apparently an episode was releasing today, and then I think there was something about another one tomorrow.
No.
It was something about the 23rd and the 24th.
So the next episode is not scheduled to come out for a week, according to what I have in front of me. But who knows? They've done sneaky things before. We can always
Well,
see here.
I blame Google. There we go.
Yeah, and it's it hasn't even been a full year since we wrapped up season 3, which finished in September of 2025. So here we are in July of 2026. Not quite a year later.
And you know what else about that? The break between season 2 and 3 was like 2 years. So this was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah, this one came I think that's why I'm commenting on it, because I felt like we waited forever for season 3 to come out.
Yeah.
And even season, I was like, when did season 1 happen? Right, season 1 was in 2022,
2019.
so 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
we are getting on average 1 a year, but it's kind of been a little over the place. So we're back, and I don't know if we knew last year if the show was going to finish in season 5 when we wrapped up, but
I'm pretty sure there were rumblings about it ending with season 5, and I think the last I heard was they shot 4 and 5 at the same time.
Same time. And 5 is
Yeah.
a shortened
Yes.
season. It's
Yeah,
only 8
of-
episodes or 6.
Because of course it
episodes,
is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because when
so
they when season 3 ended, they announced they renewed
Yeah.
for 4 and 5, but that 5 would be short and would be the final season.
Basically, the Star Trek piggy bank ran out of money.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and so it'll be interesting to see when season 5 comes out, especially since they shot it back to back, and how long they'll sit on it before. I know they have to do all the post work, but
I would reckon it's probably going to come out the same time next year, like July of next year, because they're going to have season 2 of Starfleet Academy more than likely in January, February. That'll carry us probably into March. And then they're going to want to milk Strange New Worlds until July. And then they're probably going to announce whatever reboot film series that they're going to want to do in like the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's your feeling? It's going to go to a film series next?
Well, there's already one film series announced, or one film that's still greenlit and hasn't been shelved.
Which is what?
And that's the one that what's his name is co-writing from Freaks and Geeks and Bones, that did Dungeons and Dragons. I can't think of his name right now.
I think I know who you mean.
Dungeons.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember his name.
Freaks and Geeks.
John Francis Daley is co-writing with the same person he wrote Dungeons and Dragons with, and it's a beginnings of the Federation's movie.
Interesting. Okay, maybe the Romulan War.
Maybe.
EJR says this season will be 6 episodes.
Yeah.
6 episodes. Okay, we are getting 10 episodes. Just to look ahead. So yeah, we got the Griffin incident, then Human Best Friend, a case of Chuscuro. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Level 5 transporter accident. Then we have Off Hour, like Chronotons Through the Hourglass. So more time travel, sounds like. Orders of Magnitude, Once Lawn a Time. And the finale of the season, episode 10, will be Tomorrow's Enterprise.
Chronotons Through the Hourglass. Is that going to be more of like a dramatic, like character-focused episode? Like soap opera drama or
let's just wait
like
and see, guys.
We'll wait and see, but we know we're getting a puppet episode this season, and maybe a couple other things that will drive Jody.
Are we getting a puppet?
One.
Okay, hang on. Are we actually getting a puppet episode this season? We thought we were getting a cowboy episode this season, and we didn't get that. We got an intro.
We got a scene.
So what's to say we're not just going to get
time for a cowboy
scene?
episode?
Yeah, could be more cowboying to come.
No.
Maybe it's cowboy puppets.
Not according to Adam. He's like, we've hit our cowboy threshold, especially with Firefly in the mix at the moment on this network. So yeah, well, okay. What did we think about this episode? Let's get into this premiere. Did we like this?
Can I go first? Because
sure.
He's so I came out of last season so disappointed. I liked episode 1. That was my favorite episode of the season, and then it fell down. And guys, I was really critical, and now I'm back up. This was
back.
Great,
he's back.
He's great back, way to start the day. I have my shirt on. I got my little Pike thing here, and
he's got the hair up.
Got my hair up. Actually, put my hair up. Yeah.
Well, he's a true believer again. He's not.
And you guys know I love season 1 and 2. I love season 1 and 2.
Yeah, and there were a couple episodes in season 3 you liked, but mostly the season did not work for you largely. And and I struggled with parts of it too. There were a couple episodes I didn't care for. Who would like to go next in terms of this episode? Does it, Ashley?
You know how I can. You know how every now and then someone on Twitter or Reddit or any of those things will ask if you had to pick an episode to show someone who's never watched Star Trek before, what episode would you show them? And this episode, I think, qualifies really, really well for that, because we had a grieving captain, we had time travel, we had 2 warring species, we had a moral dilemma, we had a prime directive dilemma, we had a Doctor Who reference, we had a Buffy reference, we had a paradox, we had motherfucking dinosaurs. And we had a species who has never heard of the Federation, so he has to try to explain to her the purpose of the Federation. And I think it perfectly shows to anyone who has never seen Star Trek before what this show and what this whole world is about.
Okay.
That's how I feel about this episode. I think it was a
well said.
perfect episode
Yeah.
of Star Trek.
Yeah, good points all around. Jim.
I'll piggyback off of that. When I saw this episode, the first thought I had when it was done, I'm like, this is as close to classic Trek as we've seen in a long time, at least for me. Like, this could have been an episode in basically like the original series or Next Generation, like the beats and the themes and the situations. Like, I could see this as a classic episode. And then on top of that, just the scenario. I mean, it's out there. It's pure Trek sci-fi scenario. There's an anomaly in space. Go investigate it. Hijinks ensue. It's one of the best setups ever. I do have questions on a couple of things. One, do we really need to reference Doctor Who?
Yes,
Why?
because Doctor Who's cool. Like,
He used to be cool,
No.
and now it's
still cool.
You all caught up?
Almost. Well, on Doctor Who,
Yeah.
I've got little bits and pieces to catch up on in the last 2 seasons, I think.
Okay.
Second, is every new female Vulcan that they introduced in the show have to be a bitch? Like,
seems like
I did not like her one bit, and that seems to be like a running joke. Like, every time they introduce a new Vulcan, they just have to be a complete asshole.
You know what?
I mean,
I'm going to
that's-
say to you
that's
on
not-
that one,
that's what-
I agree with you. Like, it started, you didn't need, like, the first scene with her, and then I've forgotten about her, actually.
Right.
And then the end of it, he was back.
And still a bitch.
and she
That's what
leaves the ship.
Vulcans are,
Right?
though. That's
The
what
what?
Vulcans are, though, including the men. They're all bitches.
They are, and that was consistent. But like, did we need this in the episode? I guess is what
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
We didn't need it at all.
And we don't need to introduce new characters when we only have
No.
16 episodes left.
You do when you need somebody to die on screen.
I guess, yes.
Is
can
she
be
gonna
the
die on
record.
screen?
Sure.
Like, it seemed like she was leaving the
she
ship by the end of
not?
the. Like, she's
Is
like, I'm
she-
going back to Vulcan because my disappointed my parents.
Right,
And-
right. But okay, see this is Strange New Worlds T'Lyn. This is what we got. We got T'Lyn through this character. Not nearly as I could say approachable, but
Mhm.
you know, it's basically the T'Lyn avatar for Strange New Worlds. And this character seems grumpy, seems hard edge at the beginning of the season. Then there's going to be some character moments by mid-season, and then by the end of the season, this character is going to die on screen to give us an emotional cue. Yeah,
Maybe.
that's
Yeah. Like,
that's my thoughts on this new character. You know?
well, we'll see if she sticks around or
I agree
not.
with you, yeah.
If she
Yeah.
doesn't, then I would be like, this was completely pointless. But
Yeah. Although I would absolutely support the red shirt syndrome happening to her. No complaints here. Hell, I'll pop a bottle of champagne. Why not?
that green blood will look good on the
That
red
green blood. Yeah.
tunic, won't it? You know,
Good for
we'll,
contrast.
Got contrast, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Chris, what did you think of the episode overall? Like, did you have a good time with it?
Well, like I said, everything is Jurassic Park when Mars attacks. This was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed, I was pretty hooked when they started talking about like prehistoric Mars and these Martians being like the galaxy or at least our solar system's fighting power and whatnot. I loved that aspect, the going back in time and it's like prehistoric Earth. Love that. They did the dinosaurs well. The raptors had feathers. I had no complaints. Everything was pretty accurate on that front. Like Ashley said, if there was an episode to introduce somebody to Star Trek, this would be the episode. Because I was thinking that while watching this episode. A friend of mine had just told me that she's never watched Star Trek, even though she auditioned for Star Trek 3 times. She's never actually watched Star Trek. Seen some clips here or there, but I was like, you know what? If there was an episode, this would probably be a good one to like introduce her to all the values, all the aspects of what Star Trek is. And this is a really strong opening for the season. It was a pretty near perfect episode. I only have a few nitpicks, and that's mostly with like the spinning camera in the opening cold credit.
That-
I
yeah.
hate that shit so much. We don't need
Mhm.
that. If you want to show me the ship spinning, just show it on the screen. They can be locked into place. The camera can be locked into place because they're locked into place because they have gravity dampeners that let them be locked into place. So
Correct.
just have the screen they're viewing spin. I'll still get the idea. You just showed me them spinning outside. I don't need to have the camera do this. Other than that, and then the other thing that kind of got me was some of the expositional talk. There's been this like ongoing conversation that a lot of streaming shows and stuff are making it so that the dialogue is super heavy expositional because everybody's multi-screening. They're looking at their phones and they're watching and stuff like that. And I was starting to feel like that with some of the dialogue in this episode, and it was getting to me a little bit. Like Pelias flippers lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of the Doctor Who references went over my head. I didn't really pick up on it until everyone started mentioning it.
There was one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Well,
Just one
I-
throwaway line that Pelia says.
yeah, I think it was like there was like sort of two references in what she was saying. There was like a hung out with, it was like in a phone booth, but then there was like potentially another hint at it being the Doctor.
I think that was
and
from
how
last
old?
season.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, there was also that.
yes, you're right. At the end when they were talking about that they were the reason for all of this, and that's when life started on Earth. She referenced something that could go back to the Doctor Who episode where he went to the beginnings of like the first humans crawling out of the goo type of thing.
And last season there was the actual police box in that debris field. Remember when they were fighting that ship where was it, season 2?
Yes.
No.
Well, and I have read that they have discussed doing a crossover episode.
Yeah,
and
it's never gonna
it
happen.
never came to fruition, but
They've done it in the
okay.
comic
Why
books.
that's in
but,
there.
Yeah. They
yes, in the
just-
comic
just
books
for-
they do, yeah.
Just to wrap my thought up real quick, is if all of this Doctor Who referencing, these little, seedlings of references that are put throughout the show, and they actually manage to pull off a Doctor Who crossover episode before the show's over, I'll be impressed. I won't lie. I'll be impressed, and I probably won't hate it.
But which Doctor? Would be the question. But I guess it would be fun to see. I think that they like the line. It says phone booth. I think Pelia says, even though the Doctor's in a police box, but she probably doesn't know the difference. Or she doesn't really know what it is.
Unless
She could have been talking about Bill and Ted.
There we go. There it is.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
She could have been
They
talking
also
about Bill and
travel,
Ted.
yeah.
Could have been.
That would Bill and Ted crossover with Pelia. I am fucking there. I can tell you that. So I would watch that all day long. Just
comments from EJ.
EJR said, I was dreading coming into the season after last season. I really liked this episode. I still have some nitpicks, such as the Doctor Who references and Pelia's character just being there for jokes. Yeah, and I kind of do feel like that sometimes too. Also, this show doesn't know how to write Vulcans. Especially that episode last season, which was probably my least favorite of the season, which was like the 4.5 Vulcans and how they used the Vulcans in that storyline. And I think we kind of touched on it. Like, we'll see if this character means anything, this Vulcan cadet. If she doesn't, then I think it was just there for something for Uhura to do in the episode. It's pretty much.
I thought she
the
left.
purpose.
I was surprised to see. Maybe I just wanted that to happen. But
Well, didn't Uhura give a line something like it's going to be a long year, implying that the cadet was still going to be around for a while?
Yes.
Yeah, she's her like study. She's her
Right.
Okay. All right. So then this is an ongoing storyline. Then fine, you have to set it up here. Yeah. And okay, as a work of science fiction, okay, like as a science fiction or even just as like a Star Trek story, I agree with Jim. You could have given this story to pretty much any of like the casts. You could have said whether it would be the Defiant or Voyager or Discovery or any Enterprise. You could have said, okay, we go to study a nursery. We get pulled back in time. We're back in the dinosaur times, and they run into this scenario. And you could have this same storyline played with any of the other crews. That's not a criticism. I think that's just, it's a very generic Star Trek story. It's a good way to start off the season. I think it was interesting, this idea that Mars, being populated at this time, and this fifth planet that's not Jupiter, this planet that eventually became the asteroid belt. I thought that was all interesting, and the whole predestination paradox of it all, and Pike's decision to allow this to play out on the hunch here, like that was good. And yet I was somehow left lacking. I was like, it could have been better. It could, like, I feel like the punch of it could have been stronger, or, you know, I don't know exactly how they would have pulled that off, but I've watched other, you know, I think especially watching these Next Generation episodes every week, you see how much more those like epiphany moments hit. And maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe, I don't know. It could be just my thing, but I was kind of like, oh, this should have felt a little bit stronger than it did to me, and I don't really know why. But
could that be because, like, you know, I mean, I'll grant you, like, we've seen this storyline before, and maybe it's because we've seen it in this kind of storyline, this predestination paradox. We've seen it in other shows. We know how it's going to play out. Once they mention there's a fifth planet, like, I knew, like, oh, it's going to be the asteroid belt and all that. Maybe it's because we've seen this before, and this is just the new Trek version of how it was done.
maybe, you know, it's not like everything was fine. It all passed like my checks. It's not even a nitpick. I just wish it was. I felt a little bit more excited about it. Maybe I need to watch it again though.
Hey Dave, can I?
Yep.
You mentioned earlier too about the timing, like 1 hour. Like, I think that this felt a little like a movie to me, but the hour was perfect. You didn't need more.
Yeah.
Could you have done with less? You know, is what I'm left wondering with it, right?
No, because what would they have cut out? I feel like we would have lost the impact of the episode if they had cut stuff out.
No, but I'm glad they didn't do more, is what I'm saying. I was completely satisfied at the end of that hour.
Yeah. Like, potentially we could have cut the beginning parts, I guess, them riding around, you know, and I guess the whole stuff with Uhura and the Vulcan, I think you probably could have cut, but that's about it. Like, I think everything else pretty much has to stay in the episode. Maybe you make like some of the away team stuff a little shorter, you know, but that was cool to see. It was all like visually, it was beautiful. Like the effects, like the planets, the space scenes, all of that looks great. The actors are very charismatic and they deliver their lines well.
They've done an amazing job, like, making this show look. I mean, even like this poster behind me, like that, like, so cool, you know.
Yeah.
And I just think they've done such a great job making this show look fantastic compared to particularly Discovery.
Yeah. No, it's much easier on the eyes than a lot of other shows. Compared to like Firefly that we watch, like, it looks a lot better.
This felt, actually, I'll say this, like, Strange New Worlds feels like somebody was actually putting passion behind it. Even the goofy episodes, somebody was like passionate about this and was really, you know, sticking their foot in it. They really wanted to make this happen, and you can see the effort that was put in. Even in the episodes that we don't really like, you know, somebody was like really trying. And I can appreciate that.
I always, even bad episodes, I know that's true. Okay, well, and I think that's a good segue. We're going to go over to our visuals for the episode. Time for the screenshots.
In the YouTube reviewing community, there are two separate but equal entities. The people reviewing the show and the screenshots they have to use because of YouTube's bullshit copyright system. These are those screenshots.
There we go.
Right.
We are doing the screen. We started off this episode with Pike on a horse, which, you know, is Adam's favorite thing.
I was worried here.
Yeah, you're like, what's happening? But we're on one of these other planets that have weird gravity going on all the place. So you have like floating islands and rocks and everything else. So it's very cool to look at. Then we see Pike joined by Lon and Mbenga. Riding through this desert of this alien world, eventually settling up here to chat about the mission. I guess maybe a pre-warp civilization. So Mbenga and Lon delivered some medicine, and Lon also like drank all the locals under the table. She's a big drinker, and handled some...
Why do I feel like they went to the Sudbury Quarry for this shot?
This is somewhere. This is the Dundas Quarry, I think. If they all went that way to Sudbury, all power to them. But yeah.
Well, yeah, Dundas Quarry, whatever quarry they were filming in last season. It feels like they went back to that one.
Oh, they love this quarry. They go here all the time.
You know
Yeah,
what? They look great. Like the costuming is awesome. Like they all look fantastic.
Yeah,
I agree. They look great. The planet looks cool. But what would have sold me more on them being dressed up like this on this planet is just if in the background of their riding there was like a wooden town,
Yeah.
like because all there is just floating rocks and pyres, and that looks cool. But if there's just like a little town in the distance, even if it's just wooden shacks or whatever, like I would have been like, okay, cool, that makes sense. There's the town, they're not far from it. Because right now they're like, did you drop this off? Did you drop off the medicine? Oh yeah, and I drunk these guys under the table. Cool. Nobody saw us. Cool. Let's get out of here. Let's have another ride though,
Yeah, because the number one calls and Pike's like, we're not ready to beam up. We're going horseback riding. Let's go.
Yeah, like in this shot, you could have had like a little town just like sullied in the distance or something, But
yeah,
whatever.
But if that was their spot originally to be beamed out, they would want to be away from the town because they don't want to be seen. If they're close enough to be seen in the town you can see it in the shot, then someone in the town might see them getting beamed out.
Okay, that's logical.
Be a logical Vulcan here, Chris. You got to keep with the logic. Anyway, but the other thing I was like, how much time has gone by since the end of season 3? Like, do we feel like it's
6 months?
Did they actually say that?
6 months.
Yeah,
She says it.
it's in the next scene. Yeah,
It's in the next scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we beam up here. Pike and Mbenga and Lon are greeted by Spock. We see Pike did bring his own saddle down for this
Can I take your
excursion.
saddle for you, Captain?
He carries his own gear, but he's here to really check out his girlfriend in her cowboy outfit, and he's going to help her take off the boots. Everyone,
Can't say girlfriend, Dave. She even said they have no labels.
There's no labels, but I'm putting a label
They're
on
just
them.
having fun.
Scotty's like peeking over about their conversation from the transporter controls as this is going on, which she kind of calls him out on, and he's left being a little embarrassed. Anyway, but Spock's ready. He's down to,
Take her boots off.
Take her
Ponfar. He's down to Ponfar. So here we go. Up in the ready room, Una is giving Pike a hard time about, him always going on missions and leaving her in charge on the bridge, and she would like to go on missions sometimes. And
it wasn't just that. She was stressing the fact that they've been going hard for 6 months.
Yeah,
No
that he's
break.
been kind of like, to deal. This is, I guess, where we find out it's been 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I hear you, and I'll try to ease up and relax. And then we find out that Admiral April is here, the former captain of the Enterprise, when Pike was the first officer. Now, he's offering Pike a promotion to Commodore, establishing the Commodore rank, which I personally like the Commodore rank, and I am not against it. Some people say there's 2 levels of Rear Admiral. I say no, 1. Anyway, this is my personal rant, but will Pike accept the promotion? Now, we know from canon that Pike held the rank of fleet captain in the Menagerie episode, so he eventually does get some kind of promotion. There's been disputes in canon whether a Commodore and a fleet captain are kind of like the same thing, or if it's 2 different ranks. But we'll find out before.
Yeah, they're not. The fleet captain is literally just a captain of a small fleet of ships. Like
That's what a
he's the
Commodore
one-
is.
Well, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so it's like it could be the same thing, or it could be just like a higher captain, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so he's got to think about the promotion. Pike, Admiral April tried to talk to him. Then we go to the turbo lift. We have Uhura, and so they're starting this whole rivalry here with Erica and Scotty. I don't know if we had any of this before this episode. I can't remember, but basically that he's putting all these warnings on her controls at the con so she doesn't push the ship too hard. Giving her all she's got. So all these little beepy alerts that come up on her console to say don't exceed limits. But Uhura's not
I'm
listening.
really hoping that this just becomes a fun, playful friendship, and they're not setting up a romance between these two.
No,
I can't imagine. Like,
Ortega.
It feels
and
like they're
Scotty?
setting up a romance, but I hope it's just a bantery friendship.
Actually, I thought that
Yeah.
too, when they bumped into each other later in the episode, and then I thought,
Yeah.
no, it's not going to happen.
I think it's gonna be more like a
It's-
sibling relationship.
Yeah.
Here's my two thoughts. I was like, are we gonna have a scene where these two just like hate fuck each other? And then I was like, nah, I'm fairly certain Eric Ortega is too much of a lesbian icon for them to do that.
No, I
Right.
don't get any relationship vibes here. Probably more like sibling rivalry, something like that. Like that they're fighting, they're playing tug of war with the Enterprise, right? The Enterprise is like,
Yeah.
they each have a
Yeah,
half
but
of the ship.
that's a trope for relationships in these types of shows.
Well,
Yeah,
let's hope
yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't
So
go
I'm
there.
hoping that it's just a bantery friendship and they're not trying to stick them together.
Yeah.
There's enough romances on this show.
There sure are. No arguments here. So then we head over to Uhura meeting her cadet mentee, like her pupil. But the Vulcan, as we've covered, not the nicest. Consisted with other Vulcans. Uhura's who we know is like a linguist and speaks many Vulcans, but she's speaking it with an accent, and I was like, oh, the Vulcans are like the Quebecers. Like when you try to speak French, and
I literally said they're French. She's French, like
Yeah.
French, because they're like, don't try and speak to me in my
don't
language.
even try.
Your
Don't even
accent's
try.
wrong.
I don't want to hear it. I'll just speak English. Like I speak every English language or human language anyway. So yeah, I was like, oh, the Quebecois are Vulcan. I never put it together. But here we are. So, and then hers like, but I thought Spock said I was good at Vulcan, and he just looks like, not so much. You got a bit of the accent there. I'm only half Quebecois, so I let it go.
It was the quietest, smallest head shake, just like no, you're
Yeah.
not.
No,
It was good. It was a good moment. Anyway, so Uhura, for all her attempts to try to pass on the good knowledge and things that she got when she was a cadet, pay it forward, if you will. She's getting the cold shoulder from the Vulcan. Anyway, and she looks over at Ortega's and she's like, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Anyway, then we go to the briefing, which explains where the Enterprise is headed next. This mission with the stellar storm, a squall, it's referred to as, and they're going to go study it. They have to be very careful how close they get to it because it's very damaging. Pelia makes some
literally
jokes.
rip them apart by the subatomic level.
Yeah, which Spock's like, this thing will rip us to shreds if we get anywhere near it. So maybe we should be extra careful. And it's Pike and
Perhaps I did not clarify that it would rip us apart at the subatomic level.
Spock, it'll be fine. Let's go poke it with a stick.
Yes.
Is
The
this what's the
explorers
peak?
or carrot.
Or carrot.
Yeah, these carrot weapons. Anyway, so they're like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna go on this mission and we're just gonna look at this thing and what could go wrong. As we transition to the actual image of it here in space, and through Pike's eyes, and the whole idea of him taking this promotion and not being on the bridge of his ship anymore, I guess, tying it together here. He even asks number one, right? Like, if you had to miss this you couldn't see this every day, would you miss it? She says, of course. Vulcan lady is not impressed. She's only introduced, like, she likes data, not
Okay, hang on. This scene was really funny to me because I don't know if anybody caught what Spock said after she said data. It was like, Urha was like, this is really pretty, and then the ensign there, she's like, no, data is the only thing that matters. And then Spock in the background, he's like, sensors are what matters, data is only correlation or something like that.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. So he corrected her. He's like, I'll have Vulcan.
Yeah.
Vulcan.
He's like, no, sensors are what matter, data is only, like, what was it? It was like coding or codation or something like that. It was a C word, but it basically meant like data is just numbers, sensors are what matter.
Right.
Different C word popped in my head, but never mind.
Of course.
Family show,
so-
Jim. Family show.
Family show. All right. So then the Enterprise going through the storm here. They get a distress call. How could there be a distress call? How could a ship be inside this thing? We have to investigate. Let's get near it. So they try to
signature.
take the ship in. The alert Scotty's little warnings start coming up, and we start seeing what Erica was talking about, which she has to silence as they're trying to head in, but it's very dangerous. Could be ripped apart at the subatomic level. The camera starts spinning here, which Chris didn't like, and I didn't care for it either, honestly.
Yeah.
So I could have done without it, but blame the director. And then as they can't escape this, they try to get out, but they are eventually pulled in or enveloped by this like wave explosion, which sucks them into a time vortex. Let's do the time warp again. Here we go. And
Time toilet. They got sucked down the hole.
It was a time toilet. Yeah.
Enterprise go down the hole.
But the Enterprise was okay, because then we find the Enterprise is kind of in a gray mode here. They have life support, but basically nothing else. They don't know exactly where they are because they have no sensors, and they have no warp engines because they have no iridium. So lots of problems to solve here.
I was thinking they were like crash landed on a surface just by the outside lighting. It made it seem
it looks like they're on a planet here, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's I guess they're I don't know, just have
It's
light
just
source
the
nearby.
sun. It's just
It
the
must be.
sun.
Just the sun. So anyway, so I think Una gets sent on this mission because Pike says, you said you wanted to go on more missions. Why don't you head out and find us some iridium?
You said
And
you want to explore strange new worlds.
here you go. So Una leads the shuttle party, which includes Lon and Erica, and in the shuttle Curie heading on down to what planet could this be? It's just some alien planet no one's ever heard of. As they land here on the planet, and I think I knew this was dinosaurs because I think I saw that spoiler come up.
Yeah.
But at this point, they think they're just on a planet with a volcano, which looked pretty cool.
I was lucky enough to go into this not knowing it was dinosaurs. And so when they talk about how it's the big creature and then the bush shakes, I immediately was like, is there a goat? Because that's a Jurassic Park shaky bush.
Yeah, exactly. And you were kind of right. It was.
I too stayed away from everything, so I had no clue.
Okay.
But was delighted.
We'll get to the thing I had to go and Google as soon as I saw it, but I don't think it wasn't at this part yet. It was when we actually start seeing the dinosaurs. Is that? Oh, it is here, right? Because there's something shaking in the bushes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
this is where the bush
scans.
starts to shake. Yeah.
Now, okay. So my question was, if humans went back 65 million years on Earth, could they survive on the surface of the planet as we are seeing here? The answer is sort of, but not for very long. I guess there's not a direct contradiction here in the episode, but so there was air in the atmosphere, but there was a lot more carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
the oxygen concentration was different. It was also a hell of a lot warmer.
It was also a hell of a lot warmer, so they definitely don't need these jackets.
No.
They,
But
so
the
I think
jackets are great.
they're great, but
They're pretty good. Yeah.
but they're for cold weather. So I said, okay, well, what if you were on the surface of the planet 65 million years ago and forget like being eaten by a T-Rex or whatever? Like it said, you would not pass out right away, but you probably only last an hour or two without some kind of respirator. So, we don't know
Probably
exactly.
as long as they were on the planet for.
Right. But they probably would have been better off. Or maybe they knew like they could detect the carbon dioxide and then said, okay, we'll be okay for a short time before we need assistance.
They probably have hypo sprays that help
with
with
epoxy.
effects and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that
Trioxin.
triox compound that
Yeah.
A
Oh,
little more
yeah,
nitrogen in the blood, you know?
that Kirk got from McCoy that time on Vulcan. Anyway, so there's something there's a big, huge dinosaur. They just think it's a big animal in the woods here, and Lon wants to shoot it. We got Scotty up in the ship who's saying, "Oh, it's just a little laddie. You can't leave it alone." But it wants to eat them, and so Lon tries to shoot it, but it doesn't have an effect. Basically, the stun setting.
Question. Before that shot right there, when they were firing phasers off, they were more like the pulse kind of effects from like the Kelvin Star Trek movies, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. We don't normally see this sustained beam in the
Yeah,
first
this
couple
one-
years of the show, but they
Yeah.
looks like they are. I guess they're trying to move it more towards what we
Yeah.
see in the original series.
And
And-
they did say that there's new settings.
Yeah, they did have
So-
that line.
They do
that's
say
fair.
that,
They-
including the
yes.
disintegration setting, which I guess didn't
The-
exist before
right.
this point. So
So
And
there
thank
has
God
this is
they
new.
did this.
Yeah, these are new phasers.
Okay,
for that.
I saw that. I'm like, I started trying to think back. Like, wait, did I miss them using like concentrated beams at some point before? Because once J.J. Abrams got a hold of Star Trek and they started doing all the
they
random
start shooting like blasters
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
in Star Wars. Yeah,
like they just kept doing that in like everything,
everything,
and
including like Discovery and things like
yeah,
that.
even
right? So
Discovery. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going crazy.
maybe they're like, maybe we should be more faithful to the canon. Maybe this will make David happy.
Yeah,
And
but
maybe they're right.
That's
Discovery
crazy
is
talk.
still Discovery would still like it's before this. So they had
We know,
older
we know.
style phasers.
Well, that's the handy part when you're doing a prequel. You can just say this was always the way. It was
Yeah.
always like this. What are you talking about? We're writing it. So anyway, just then when they're trying to deal with the T-Rex on the planet, Scotty gets thrown to the floor of the Enterprise engineering section. He says, the ship, something grabbed the ship.
Okay, and up until this moment, I'm still thinking they're on the surface because something grabbed the ship. Oh, there must be a dinosaur chewing on the hull of the Enterprise right now.
Space dinosaur. Nope. It's an alien ship that grabs it with a sort of tractor beamy kind of technology.
I was waiting for the hand.
Yeah, I think it was gonna be Apollo or somebody, you know.
I can't lie. When I saw this shot, I immediately thought of Farscape and what was it, the Flax? I
Okay,
think.
yeah.
They had some kind of like weird energy net thing going on that looked kind of similar to this.
Yeah. And so we see the Enterprise gets grabbed here, and that's like the teaser. That's where like the credits roll. And then, that's pretty exactly where we pick up after credits. The ship's being dragged. They have no power at this point, or very minimal. So
They're dead
like
in the water. They have
they're
no
dead in the
power.
water. They
There's no
can't
fuel.
do anything. They have no weapons. All they can do is try to call them and talk. Pelly is like, they have us in their tangles.
Yeah, she's like, we can't get out on impulse power alone. It'd be like trying to swim out of a vortex with very tiny flippers, very just tiny flippers that flipping in the flippers. Literally, she says this. Like she says
Yeah.
flippers like 7
Even
times.
Pike was annoyed by it. Don't worry. He was like,
And
"Okay."
I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like they would never say something like this in TNG.
Yeah.
We've really lost the Babel science exposition of Star Trek a little, and they're going for this more direct speak, simplified.
I don't think we've
expositional
lost it. I think
telling.
we have it with Spock, and I think we have it with Scotty now. But this character, like, she needs to go.
She's the chief engineer.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's old and crazy. That's why.
Yeah.
Because she's got a landline in her habitat that's filled with junk.
And now that Scotty's on the show, we don't really need her.
Right.
Like,
No,
so
but she's
it's
done her job. She came on. Carol King came on. She was fun, but I think she's finished now, and that's why I was actually surprised to see her back.
But
I-
wasn't she a teacher at the academy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she was
Mhm.
Scotty's professor.
Right.
Honestly,
Like,
I'm surprised she wasn't in Starfleet Academy at this point.
Well, she can be, like, if they want to put her in that. But we'll see if she has to live through this show. So we'll see if they kill her off or not. Anyway, Pike ends up on the con with this character. We'll meet Commander so and so of the Martians, the Martian commander. And she's like, "Oh," he's like, "Hey, you seem to have grabbed our ship by accident." And they're like, "No, it wasn't by
It was no
accident.
accident.
We totally stole your ship on purpose. This is part of our thing."
This is for our war efforts. Your technology is ours now.
Yeah, we then head back to the planet, back to Earth, the planet. Is this where
The not strange new world? It's just the strange old world.
strange old world? Yeah, is this where they're? This is where they're talking about the settings. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm jumping around here because they were flipping back and forth between.
I
the
did
stories,
like
but-
that line from Ortega's where she was like the vaporization thingy, and then Una comes in and she goes, "He's not even here." Like the fact that she would just completely misquote what the name of the setting is just to piss off Scotty. I thought that was kind of funny. Like that sibling rivalry type deal going on.
Right. We see the disintegration thing, which she was trying to move the dinosaur, not disintegrate the dinosaur.
I think
she
they
got through a
said
tree here.
Yeah, I think they said they were trying to clear the view to see exactly what was causing the movement and the noise.
Yeah, they're trying to figure
Pretty
out that it is a dinosaur. Now, okay, this was a flag on the play for me here, because one, you're using a disintegration ray and you're cutting down like a couple of trees and God knows how many bugs over there. And if the Simpsons have taught us anything, is you don't step on the butterfly when you're in prehistoric times.
This is
She
true.
definitely disintegrated at least 10 butterflies.
But she,
right there.
but the episode tells us they always did this. This is a predestination paradox, so these trees always got cut down. It's part of history.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. But like during the moment, I'm just like, this
We don't
could
know
be-
that yet. Yeah, you're right. So, is this what? Wait, I can't. Is it okay? Then we head back to the Enterprise, and I think this is where Spock reveals, like, we are in the Sol system. We are in the like the solar system of Earth, and they pull it up, and like, I didn't notice it at the time, but yeah, they show Sol 5 here between Mars and Jupiter, right?
Yeah, but would you know, like, because it's not like they're named, they're all just Sol, and you don't see it go all the way to the end, so you wouldn't really.
Well, I know that Earth is Sol 3, but like, you know, and then therefore Mars is Sol 4, but you know, I wasn't looking that closely, right? I didn't know that they were gonna have this twist of this secret long lost planet sibling in our solar system that no longer exists,
which is really just Klendathu. Like, it's just arachnids, giant.
It's true.
Yeah, actually,
human-sized arachnids.
A bug planet. So
it's just Mars attacks versus Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So at this point, they realize they're in like a time travel story, and Spock's like, "We can't break the Prime Directive, and we can't the temporal Prime Directive. We can't tell them anything, and we have to keep going along here." So,
I'm pretty sure he says the Prime Directive because he thinks that it's a pre-warp culture. I don't think the temporal Prime Directive, although it should be kind of common sense if time travel, you know, happens in this universe. Like, I don't think that ever gets mentioned unless it's like Enterprise or like Voyager.
if time travel happens in the Star Trek universe?
No. The temporal Prime Directive.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's not temporal, but Spock basically gives a speech to Pike about like not changing the timeline. Is basically what he's trying to say, but
yeah,
you know, in his duty there. So Pike invited over the commander of the Martian ship, which she's only agreeing to do to look at the weapons to see if the weapons can help them in the war. So they're waiting in the transporter room, and they do eventually tell the landing party about this too. So they know that they're back in the past now, and they're actually on Earth after this point in the episode. And so while they're waiting here in the transporter room, there's some banter.
You know, the banter is like, it's like, well, what are we supposed to do if we're not supposed to do anything? We're not supposed to do. He's like, so you're not really helping. You know, it's like, we can't touch anything. We can't show them anything. We probably can't tell them anything. So we shouldn't do anything. No, we shouldn't do anything. Well, that's not helping. And then while they're talking about this, all of a sudden there's an alarm going off, and they're like, there's something going on deck 7. It's like, where? It's just on the deck, just outside the door here.
We
and
are on deck 7.
Yeah.
And we see, that these Martians, they don't use transporters. They have like phase technology. They can walk through walls. Isn't that handy? Like those Romulans.
In section 31 or whatever.
Yeah, these outfits, these aliens, they're so Romulan. Like even they even have pointed ears.
I was thinking this was like, are these precursors to Vulcans or you know, Romulans and stuff? And then it's like, oh no, they're just They're Martians. Okay, I'm cool with that. We're finally
From
getting
65
introduced to
million
Martians.
years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could be because Spock or they do. Mbenga says that he found the Martian DNA spread out across
Oh yeah.
multiple species in their database at
True.
the end of the
So
episode.
this species went on to, I guess, interbreed with other species that eventually ends up in the genetic code
And I mean,
of other aliens.
we already know that all humanoid species across the galaxy are seeded from one specific.
Progenitors.
But when was that? Was
Yes.
that before this or after this?
It would have been
Like,
before this. So
Yeah,
there's
the,
there's
the progenitors. Was that
Yeah,
like
the
100 million years ago, or?
I forget the timeline, but I know it was definitely like eons before probably the Martians. So the progenitors, are key in the Martians timeline.
Okay, hold on. The progenitors 4.5 billion years ago. Yep. So
Yeah, way
they-
before.
way before any of these species. Okay. Billion years ago. I never knew the progenitors went back that far. Oh geez. Okay. So the negotiations, the diplomacy here with the Martians goes on. Scotty goes to shake a hand, but the guards nearly shoot him dead. Which
You're a guest. We don't mean you no harm. Yeah, but we're your captors.
yeah, we're not here as guests. We're here as your captors, and we're here to steal your stuff and your weapons. But
Also,
and-
has anyone recognized the Martian captain at all?
No.
I was the whole time I was wondering who she was because I do recognize her, but
I recognize her
didn't.
too,
I
but
meant to IMDb it and I didn't.
She plays the doctor in Deep Blue Sea.
oh, she gets eaten by the
Oh, okay.
shark. Spoilers.
God, I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah.
Shark!
Right there, she's like,
Saffron Burrows, her name is.
Huh.
is she French in real life or something but because I feel like in that movie she's French. And Thomas Jane is in this season as the new
Oh
McCoy.
wow.
This is like a
Thomas
Deep Blue
Jane-
Sea.
No, sorry, Thomas Jane is not in this season. Thomas Jane will be in season 5 and specifically the last episode.
Okay, okay, fine, but he's also in Deep Blue Sea.
Yes,
So-
he is in Deep Blue Sea.
He was also in Troy.
Yes,
During
well,
DJR?
yes, she's in Troy, and that's probably where I know her from better than Deep Blue Sea.
Okay. Anyway, so Mbenga says, like, let's take you through because you didn't go through the transporters. Let's take you to sick bay and check out for pathogens and medical things. And she says yes because she's also a medical doctor. So that's nice.
Yeah, I like this. She was like, I'm a hard ass Martian captain, but I'm also a medical nerd, and I really want to see your medical science.
Yeah, I'd like to see what that's going
there.
on. Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, back to Earth, 65 million years ago. You got the away team trying to figure out how to get around this dinosaur so they can get to the iridium. They're hiding here, hoping to not get eaten. So the T-Rex is sparring with some pterodactyls and other.
So, Dave,
yes,
I said this last season, and I'm going to say it again. Is like I always wonder why they don't park closer to where they need to go.
because there'll be no story.
I know that, but in this particular season, like we have to walk like forever.
It's always
like-
Unlevel terrain.
I always think, why don't you just land, especially on Firefly? I'm like, why don't you just land the ship where you need to be? Or even in For All Mankind, why don't you land the ship where the thing is actually happening? But it's like, no, we have to land it here and then walk for like a kilometer or two to get where we need to be. It can't be helped, everyone. So, anyway,
You can't land vehicles on uneven terrain. You ever watch a helicopter try and
Yeah.
land on a hill?
Oh,
Maybe
come on,
there's
Craig.
too much iron deposits on the asteroid. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe the
don't
radiation
know.
from the crash ship that has all the dilithium or whatever.
I
is
like
just-
every one of your answers. It's great.
The writers wanted them to have to face a dinosaur is the real reason. So
That's the real reason.
And
Are you
I'm happy
getting-
for it. I
Una-
love dinosaurs.
Una needed her moment here where she gets to shoot the dinosaur in the throat.
Okay.
I'm stunned.
Okay. This made me laugh because it was just so terrible. Hey, you over here.
Hey, you
over
dinosaur.
here. You dinosaur over here. It's like, really?
How would you get a dinosaur's attention?
I would have just screamed at it or maybe give it a shot with the phaser, in the leg to get its attention. I would have been like, "Hey, you dinosaur, come here, puppy! Come here, puppy!"
Like in reality, I don't think it matters that they. I don't think they like the. I think they could have shot the dinosaur not in the throat. I agree with you on stun, and it should have worked.
I get it where they needed to shoot it in the soft palate of the roof of its mouth because its outer skin would have been maybe slightly thicker because it's dinosaur.
Too thick, or it's too big it's too big to if it gets hit with that phaser blast, it's done.
Well, yeah, you got to think of it too. A lot of these weapons are probably calibrated
for humanoids.
humanoids.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so she drops the phaser though because the dinosaur's tail hits the rocks and she gets thrown off balance here. And then the dinosaur comes back at her. It's going to eat her, but Erica throws her the phaser and she manages to shoot the dinosaur right in the throat, right at the right moment. Again, we got that beam there for you, Jim. Jim
Yay.
beam.
Jim beam. Ooh,
Yeah.
wait.
Here we go. And the dinosaur goes down, but not dead. Just out for the count. So that's it. Did you shoot a dinosaur in the throat? Yeah, I did. I'm okay. So nice little outing here for the ladies on the away team.
He'll be perfectly comfortable for the next couple of hours.
Oh, it's a she.
Oh yeah, she.
Sorry.
Una checked. So then we head back to the Enterprise. See, there's at least one Tellarite doctor here. And anyway, so they're examining the Martians and telling them all about the Federation and how there's all these different species that work together. And of course, she's never heard of this because this is 65 million years ago and there is no Federation. And the Martians are pre-warp too. They don't have warp drive. So they don't it's they don't know much about this, but they seem to at least know about aliens on some level. Like it's not like they're completely weirded out by an alien who could speak to them. So maybe they've had some contact with the progenitors or somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, but they're trying to sell her on the idea of hope and peace and mutual understanding and finding. But she's a warrior and she's on the war and she has to fight for her people, and that's her whole thing.
She genuinely seemed like she was really coming around to the idea of having a connection with alien races, because she says they've known nothing but war with other alien species, and genuinely she looked like she was willing to come around. It's almost at the very end like the weapons were still kind of a priority, but almost starting to turn into like an afterthought, because she was more fascinated by the prospect of cultures learning from each other and growing together, typical Star Trek Federation, hey, we're the good guys type of thing. And then it all goes to pot. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, she's talking to them. She's starting to become more friendly with them. She's like, I want to tell you about my planet, Mars, which I guess is like the Martian, like that's their word for our word for the planet. So that's the word it translates in the universal translator to them. But I'm assuming that the name of the planet has some other name in her language, but not named after the Roman god of war.
This is Canada. It means
yet?
village,
People.
No.
Are we had the conversation yet with them where she talks about the word love or whatever was it?
Yeah,
that
so
I believe was in that scene that was just
it's in the right previous one where they were talking about being alone.
Yeah.
And she said to him, like, oh, our language has like 10 words for alone, and it translated to me as widower.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry for your loss.
I thought that was great, because again, it shows what pain the guy's going through. He's only had 6 months without Patel.
Right.
And I think that like she recognized that in this, and 65 million years bridged right there.
Yeah, well, he was saying, he's like, we're alone out here, and she's like, I'm sorry for your loss, and he was taken back by it, and she's like, we have like 37 different terms for the word alone. Your translator, I believe, said it as widower, and it slowed him down for a minute. So I like that scene. I liked all of this. It was a really great scene.
And then I started thinking, are they going to have a romance with these two? But
she's but even Ansem out there, like the way he acted that scene, like he got a little bit teary, and it was good.
You could see it in his face, like that pain just flooding right back up, right in the middle of trying to talk to this person. He switched it right back on. It was impressive.
And then he also brought up the fact
Holy
that,
man.
it's like, we're doing this for love. If we're not doing it for love, what are we even like doing it for? And she like highlights the fact that as a Martian captain, she doesn't have a place for love in her position, and they've been at war for eons. And as much as it is beautiful to think of this altruistic future where everyone gets along together, she's living in the now, and her now is a war-torn world that she has to battle.
Yeah. And then we learn more about Mars and this war that they've been having with the other planet, the insect race. I can't remember their name. The Dolomites or something.
Doldrums.
The Doldrums.
Doldrums, yeah.
Because they say that when they first arrive in the solar system, before we know it's our solar system, they say there are 3 M-class planets in this solar system, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, it's Mars, it's Earth, and it must be. At this point, I'm thinking it must be Venus. Is this 3rd planet?
I also thought Venus. Yeah.
Yeah, like because they think that
Yeah.
Venus once was kind of like Earth, like before it became what it is now, which is like a highly pressurized volcanic hellscape. But like no one could survive on now. But at one time, 65 million years ago, it was probably very different on that planet. So but it ultimately it's not. We find out that no, they're from the this other planet, but we don't know that quite yet in this episode. We find out about the attack of this the insect people on Mars, and how they were going to just consume everything, and they had to blow up an island, and they created the Valles Marineris, the huge crater on Mars.
Well, they didn't blow up an island. They basically had their Enterprise California just had a trench blown through it moment, but it's like the size of like South America, basically,
Yeah, like they killed millions of people in the process just to stop the bleeding, I guess, and to try to fight back.
It really is starting to become Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's an ugly planet, a bug planet.
Bug planet. Would you like to know more?
Yes.
I was just waiting for what's his name to come in.
Michael
James
Ironside.
Vanderbeek?
Terrible with names today. Doogie Howser.
Oh, Neil Patrick
uh,
Harris.
Neil
Yes.
Patrick Harris.
Yeah. So we get this. So at this point, like Pike is really starting to sell the commander on this idea of like peaceful coexistence, and maybe we can open a dialogue with this other race, and we can try. And so we got the other Kirk, Sam Kirk. He gets this scene here where he's talking about translation, working with Uhura, and all the different alien species they've had to talk to, one including through smell, which was kind of
a very
interesting.
stinky conversation.
It was a stinky conversation, but eventually we were able to talk. So she sells them on these ideas. Like there's kind of, we can find a way to communicate with insectoids, even though you maybe have not had that luck, right?
Darn it! I'm getting an urge to listen to the village people seeing Dave's beard, says Polar Knights.
Oh, thank you. I think. So
Take it as a compliment.
we then Pike goes up to talk to Spock, and what does Spock tell him here? Help me out here. I can't remember what Spock has some kind of a revelation about what's how to get home. We can only get home through some kind of like powerful, huge explosion, which we are able to do. So
yeah, we basically have to mimic the same explosion that we had, so we got to destroy the sun. It's like, yes, technically we have to destroy.
If we destroy the
to go back
sun
in
or
time.
something big like that, then we can maybe go home. But
He has not yet figured out how to slingshot around our sun.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know that yet.
I was kind of glad about that, but wouldn't the 3rd planet be like the one that the insects are on?
They're on the 5th planet.
No, they're on the 5th planet.
Yeah.
The 3rd planet is Earth.
No, I know, but didn't they say there was three habitable planets?
Well,
Right.
the
Yeah,
third
Mars
planet.
is one of them.
Right.
Mars, Earth, and that planet.
Yeah,
Right.
when they
Not
said
Venus.
when they said
Not
that there
Venus.
were 3 planets,
Venus.
they didn't know it was the Sol system yet. They didn't find out that it was.
No, I know, but you guys were saying Venus, and it wasn't Venus.
It wasn't Venus. No, that's what I thought at this point. Like at this point, I'm thinking the third planet is Venus, but they haven't revealed to us that there's this extra solar planet in the solar system yet, which I think would have been like something you would have flagged a little earlier once you realized where you were. Anyway, they can't reveal to us yet. There's a red alert because Martian commander lady, she is stealing the antimatter from the engine room and taking it through the ship with her phase technology and stealing it. And Pike's like, hey, I thought we were getting along. Everything was going so well. And she's like, oh, yeah, because we looked at your little computer monitors and you lied to us about where you're from and when you're from. You're from the future. He's like, well, I have these rules about time travel and everything else. But like, I'm like, did you have to like leave the computers on to say like what year it was and also to show the future state of Mars to her on the, you know?
They left the Martians with Sam and Uhura, right? And
yes.
Those two would have known like the consequences of revealing. They don't have like the privacy screens that we have on our cell phones now. Like,
wasn't smart. I think that Sam Girk. I don't know about this guy.
This is one of the plot holes in this episode that I was like, okay, so they just had access to a high security computer system, and they could see the timeline of their entire world, and they had time.
Right.
Okay. I guess we
don't exist in your future, right? So
yeah.
I mean, they can walk through walls. One of the security people could have just walked through a wall to a room where the stuff wasn't turned off, to a secure room, and just looked at that computer.
He stuck his head into the computer screen and saw the information just right there. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, she knows now. She's pissed, and well, not that pissed, but she's leaving. She has to go fight this war and destroy the enemy, and she's so she's leaving the ship. And so, like, did she just like walk out like through space to her ship? Like that was my other like when you're.
No, they said that there was an impact on the hull.
Oh, so like the shuttle,
like the shuttle attached to the hull, and then they phase through.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Unless they're really good at holding their breath. But
I think the shuttle thing is like makes sense. They would attach the hull phase through because they don't have warp technology or anything like that,
and they don't have transporter technology, so that's how they would have to.
They have some other impressive technologies, though. Like we find out that they have this phase technology that that Starfleet doesn't, right? Yeah. So anyway, so they're leaving with the antimatter, which leaves the Enterprise even more helpless than it already was. We then catch up here with number one and Lon and Erica, who have found the alien ship that is the source of the iridium that they're here to take. And I guess it's one of these planets from Sol 5, the insect planets. But there's like a velociraptor like off in the corner scoping to eat them too. So there's a few things going on at once here.
Especially a raptor toupee, apparently.
It's got the feathers on there.
Speaking of toupees, I like Polar Knight's comment about Dave there.
Yeah.
But me, I'm the village people now. Yes. I love it is new. I love everything Star Trek. New Star Trek. Okay. So while number one's getting the iridium, we see Erica and Lon looking at the pods of this ship that's crashed here on Earth. It's from the insect people, right? Like these, they're in a cryo ship, and I was like, okay, so maybe they're looking to colonize somewhere else. But I was like, where are the Voth? Are they already gone? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So do you remember that episode of Voyager?
Oh, yeah, with the dinosaur people.
There's dinosaur people living on Earth at this time. The Voth.
Oh,
where are they?
Were they living on Earth at the time?
Well, they left before the mass extinction, but there should be some of them left over, theoretically, but they're not here. Or at least I thought that this maybe could have been a Voth ship or something, but it wasn't. It was the insect ship.
Maybe they went underground, like in Doctor Who.
Well, we know that they actually went to the Delta Quadrant, in truth, but maybe they're already gone at this point.
Although it was not corroborated with archaeological evidence, genetic evidence strongly suggested that the Voth originated on Earth.
Yes, but what period of time? No, it wasn't suspected that we knew that they did because of the DNA, but and then they found their way across the Delta Quadrant and eventually settled in there. Like, and then they run into Chakotay. Eventually.
So they would have left before this because the mass extinction is literally just about to happen.
Well,
But all of them left.
I mean, it kind of
Well,
tracks. with
some
what
of them would have. I'm sure some died.
It tracks with what happens in this episode. At the end of it, they said that or Mbenga says the Martians' DNA is in all over the place. I mean, they had time to leave. Maybe the timing just worked out just right that the Voth have already taken off.
Maybe the Voth hooked up with the Martians and they made some sexy babies.
Dude, I'm actually a little disappointed that they didn't give any reference to the Voth in this episode. Now that you,
I would have loved it.
I mean, they're in one small area of Earth. The Voth could be on the other side. Earth is a big fucking planet.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Like,
they could very much be on any other portion of the Earth, and they just happen to be in that one section where there's no Voth or something.
If you're coming down to Earth to retrieve something, you're down here for like 45 minutes. You're not going to meet just in Canada. You're not going to see the other side of Canada. They could be on the other side of the planet.
No, that's absolutely true. But like, even just to have like the Martian captain reference Earth's alien or Voth species,
that would have been interesting to me. Like, there was a species that lived on your planet, but they left or something. That could have been interesting. But maybe also a distraction.
They could, suppose she could have said something to Pike once she found out who they really were. You don't look like a
dinosaur to me.
We've met, from your planet previously or whatever.
Could be. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but anyway, so they find the iridium and they're heading out, but then the Velociraptor attacks them and Lon has to punch it in the nose. And I guess this whole thing about her augment DNA being activated or something.
Have you guys ever seen the video of the Australian guy that goes to rescue his dog from a kangaroo by punching it?
Yes.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
So she does that, which kind of startles the dinosaur who runs away. And then they're like, "Whoa, look at Eric or look at Lon. She can punch."
I have a feeling that if we find out that she punches this dinosaur in the jaw and breaks her hand, but doesn't feel any pain.
Right.
I wonder if that raptor ran off because she also broke the dinosaur's jaw. Because if she's that strong with this, that she doesn't even feel pain from this, and her augment DNA is being activated, she could have done some serious damage to that dinosaur, and that's why it ran away.
Could be. I'm guessing this is Lon's storyline for the season.
The raptor saw her as a threat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And took off.
Yeah.
Instincts
which is
took
interesting.
over.
Yeah. So, and Lon doesn't know quite emotionally how to feel about this.
When I saw this, I never put two and two together that she was a human being, like a superhuman in any form. I just was like, oh, she punched a dinosaur. Like I would do the exact same thing if I would. If it just like whap and punch. I feel like it would be no different than punching a horse or something. Sure, it might hurt my hand, but I'm not going to knock it out, but I would stun enough to maybe tell it to back off. And I felt like that was just it. I never got the inclination that her super strength is what saved her in that moment,
I love that Chris is talking about fighting dinosaurs.
He's like, if I saw a dinosaur, I'd fight the dinosaur.
I feel like if it was a regular human with regular strength, though, that dinosaur wouldn't have run off. A horse maybe would be stunned.
I like the fact that
dinosaur, I think, would fight back with its teeth.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I feel like regular human beings were able to fight off dinosaurs. They use sticks and stones and whatnot.
You see Jurassic Park. They did not.
Human beings have never fought off dinosaurs. Unless you're talking about chickens.
Clever girl.
All right. We gotta move on.
There's no Flintstones.
Lon has a quick scene here in sickbay with Mbenga Chapel about her augment DNA being recessive, she's a descendant of Khan, right? or
Yes.
somehow related to him, and but she's not. But she's got a lot of human family members too. So we'll see what this means for her.
But there was a funny comment about her taking over the universe.
He's like, "Are you going to take over the galaxy?" And she's like, "I don't know, baby. Like, I can't stop it." So
when I saw the scene, I had like my instinct kicked in. Like, this is going to be the plot line that takes her off the Enterprise. Like, maybe something's going to trigger to have those augments kick in, and then the law against augments is
maybe she gets kicked out of Starfleet or something. But she's not genetically engineered, so she's like,
right. But I mean, Una got away with it in the trial, just like pure happenstance and
through a loophole.
Through a loophole, right? With La'an, I don't know if the same thing would apply. But maybe they'll if this is their reasoning for her leaving the show or leaving the Enterprise, maybe that's going to be the lead into it.
And then she starts quoting Moby Dick, we know we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And then my other thought was like, maybe because of how much time she's spending with Spock, maybe it's like, well, I didn't think about the augments at first. That she just said she didn't feel pain. I thought maybe it was like her and Spock were like, I don't know, trading. Like Spock was training her to not show emotion or feel less pain and control it, and just eventually like just didn't feel the pain.
Like
they
last
were having
season
their
when
massage sessions.
Exactly, massage sessions. But then they mentioned the augments. I'm like, oh no, right? That's
like when she got turned into that Vulcan last season, but she turned into more of a Romulan. I feel like that they're continuing with that story here.
Yeah, that could be.
I thought she just got a neurological disease that made her stop feeling pain. Like this was
we'll
my
see
first
how this
thought.
goes. We can speculate.
I remember
anyway.
that she had augment ancestors, so I assumed it was augment stuff. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we got to move on. We got to get through this.
Sorry.
So, so we head up to the bridge. They have no warp drive. They have no power. They have no they're only getting the sensors back online. They know that they've stolen the antimatter. They're pleading with the alien commander lady to give it back, but she has to protect her world. Wouldn't you do the same if you were in my position? And see that they're taking it to the 5th planet, this is the big reveal. What do you mean 5th planet? You mean Jupiter? No, we finally looked here, and there's a whole other planet where the asteroid belt should be in this, in this part of the timeline. It's inhabited by millions of these Dolderm arachnid people. Now we're told that the planet is class M, although I couldn't help but notice that the median surface temperature is negative 71 degrees Celsius, which so for an M class planet, very cold.
Also, there's a bunch of like bug-like creatures living on that cold of a planet.
It's a lowercase m class planet.
Life finds a way, Chris.
Life finds a way, exactly. So anyway, they're there, but there's millions of them on the planet. As the Martian vessel is heading to that Sol 5 to destroy it, Pike's like, maybe we could stop them with a photon torpedo, and they think they can shoot off one photon torpedo and maybe stop this if they get the right shot off. But they're watching this all play out, and Pike has like this kind of epiphany as he's getting ready to give the warning. And he decides, no, I'm not going. I'm going to allow this to play out because this planet doesn't exist in our time. In our time, maybe this is meant to happen, right? It's kind of a hunch. He has no data. He even says this to Admiral April at the end. He's like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I could have easily got this very wrong. But he orders to stand down. Una objects, but he says like, I think this is probably the way it's meant to go. And so she's like, okay, fine. And they watch the planet get destroyed by this one antimatter pod. I didn't know that you could destroy a planet this easily, with basically just one photon torpedo.
With enough that's carried in basically a suitcase.
It was in a suitcase level.
Yeah.
So but hey,
you don't need dark matter anymore, or red matter, or whatever.
No, who needs red matter?
I wonder if they had some sort of weapon that they added the antimatter to that made it.
Perhaps.
By
if it's
that,
two different technologies combined did this.
yeah.
Considering that they don't have warp, they've never seen antimatter before. So
But they saw it as a fuel source that could be strong enough to implement whatever doomsday weapon
Yeah.
that they could have
Whatever-
been working on.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, boom. Planet Sol 5 gone. Everyone dead. And it also destroys the Martian ship, which they're too close to it. The commander knew this. She sacrificed herself to deploy this weapon and win the war for her people. However, after they have kind of a moment here, like Spock's like, "Don't flee that explosion. Fly right into it. We can get back home if we fly right into it and use that as our time travel mechanism." And Pike's like, "I meant to do this the whole time. I knew that was exactly what would happen. Based on those earlier conversations, I am brilliant, and that's exactly what they do. They fly into it, and timey-wimey, they go through, and all of a sudden they are back in the present day. The instant that the ship had been pulled into the space toilet, time toilet. But we also see the aftermath that occurred in the 65 million years ago. So as that planet exploded, one of those fragments became the asteroid that hit Earth 65 million years ago, killed the dinosaurs.
Okay, like a week ago, I was watching a YouTube clip, and somebody was talking about Star Trek's going to meet dinosaurs now, and they were making a joke that the Enterprise was going to be responsible for the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. I didn't know the writers were taking that seriously. But
Take
here
that,
it is.
dinosaurs. So they
But
are dead.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I was like, well, I mean, this
I
is
don't
Star
hate it.
Trek. What do we expect?
I
to
didn't
go
hate
back
it
into
either.
the-
I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, isn't that quaint?" Okay, sure.
The
Right?
Enterprise has been responsible for so many things that have happened in our past.
Yeah.
But this is not
this,
the first
this is a
instance
big one
of this.
because
This is just classic Trek.
if the asteroid doesn't hit the planet, then like the dinosaurs don't go extinct, but then humanity never evolves either. So
Yes.
Remember
like-
when we were genetic goo and Picard had to stir the pot?
That's
It's all
right.
great. It's all fantastic.
Yeah.
well,
if it
at this
weren't
point,
for
like
Picard,
our
we wouldn't
ancestors,
exist.
like so humans evolved basically like from apes, but apes evolved from rodents effectively, right? And so rodents already existed, but
And Klingons evolved from crabs, and I will stand 10 toes down on that argument.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so they're all kind of solemn, like, well, I guess we did the right thing. But the other thing we've learned is because they destroyed that planet, Mars ended up drifting further out, which made it cool. So she did like that Martian commander. I want to keep calling her Romulan commander, but she's a Martian commander. The Martian commander, like, she destroyed the fate of Mars slowly by changing the orbits of the planets. It also cooled off Earth enough that it was habitable and allowed the evolution of humanity, because it had too much CO2 and too much heat back then for humanity to exist now. So anyway, that's how it all played out. They talk about the predestination paradoxes. Pike gives them a night off. They're like, let's get out of here before he changes our mind. Let's go party. Woohoo. And then we get a conversation here between Mbenga and Pike talking about fate and predestination and all these kinds of things. And, with Pike knowing that he's fated to go down in that accident and lose his abilities, but it's okay, Pike. You're going to go live on Talos 4 with Rena and the Talosians. It's going to be okay. So, great. I love this shot too. Him looking at the table in the reflection before it transitions. We got more of Pike and Robert April at the end, reading the Martian Princess. I think is the book that they pull out.
The Princess from Mars.
The Princess from Mars. And
I'm now going to look this book up. I've never heard of it until now. I'm going to try and find this book, and I want to read it.
Yeah, well, and Pike's reading. He's like, "Oh, I wish I could have read this to my dad and told him about what I just went through." It was.
Well, yeah, his dad was like, he always thought the idea of a pre-civilization run by Martians or whatever was a really funny idea. He's like, if only I could go back and tell him.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
rub it in his face.
And then Pike's having the conversation here with April, like, are you going to take the promotion or not? I think they also said that they're going to cover up what the hell happened because they're not going to rewrite history either. They're going to keep it top secret for now. Anyway, but Pike's he's not ready to take the desk job. He's not ready to be a Commodore. So, he wants to keep doing this for at least for another season and a half until he's ready to move on. So he goes, I'll tell you who does deserve a promotion. And then we go to the lounge and Pike is opening the champagne and he's congratulating Una. I was like, wait, did he get Admiral April to promote her to Commodore? Is she now at rank?
That's what I thought too.
Pike? But no, it's just to get her promoted from lieutenant commander to commander, which is nice, I guess. But I don't know, because I don't even needed April's permission to do this. He could have done this at any time. But paperwork. Anyway, so cheers. And now, and they said that she's moving towards her having her own ship. So I think that will be the fate of Una by the end of either this season or next season, that she's going to go off to command her own ship. Is sort of her.
Well, they need to get her out to bring Kirk in, because if he leaves, then she would become captain. So
presumably, she's next in line to take the job. Yeah,
exactly. To get James Kirk on the ship.
Right. Because you got to get her and Pike out of here. So
she's not like a Riker who just wants to stay on the Enterprise forever. So
no, she wants. Yeah, she'll want her.
She wants her own ship, and she probably would prefer the Enterprise, but she'd probably take another ship. She'd be okay with the Melbourne.
Also, I'm fairly certain during this time Rebecca Romaine-Stamos was filming Avengers Doomsday while they were doing this, so I think she's only going to be in probably a handful of episodes for this show.
She's Mystique in the Avengers. Yeah. Oh. Okay, cool. Anyway, then we have a scene here between the Vulcan cadet, whose name I don't know, and Uhura, where she's like, "Hey, that was pretty exciting," and she's like, "Too much excitement. My parents wanted me to go to the Vulcan Science Academy. This is too much. I don't like this here." And
they were disappointed that I took this assignment, and I see why now.
I see why.
Which Vulcan parent isn't disappointed when they go to Earth?
None.
Or Star.
It might be okay for Spock because he's half human. It's
only Tuvok's parents were actually happy and made him go to the Starfleet Academy, right?
That's a couple hundred years in the future. This is still
not really.
We're still looking close to.
Tuvok serves under Sulu, right?
Right, Tuvok's with Sulu, right?
So he's older. Tuvok's a baby at this point.
Yeah.
So his parents are progressive. Anyway, so then
this is the scene.
The scene here with Scotty and Erica, where they bump into each other and spill drinks, and the pilots versus engineers feud. Here, hopefully not a romance. Here we go. Aren't you guys here, Sarah? And they curse at each other and walk away. And then there's a scene here with it's Uhura and it's the whole bridge crew, and they're all sitting around a table trading the dinosaur stories. And Una says, "Oh, it was so awesome," and we took a moment just to kind of soak it in and look at
everything.
And we will never be here again.
Park, where they pull back and see the Brachiosauruses and everything else is great.
Yeah, they see the pterodactyls, the Brachiosauruses, and even the T-Rex that's eating into a triceratops right here.
I was waiting for the banner to slowly fall down.
Look, there's Sam Neill. Oh, damn.
It's interesting that this came out the week after
of
Sam Neill
course,
passed away. Right. Okay. All right. We did it.
Yeah.
That was a lot. It took us an hour plus, but there was a lot to talk about. Adam, are there fun facts?
I've got some.
All right, you're up. But here we go.
Here's an interesting piece of trivia. A lift system lowers the bowling ball into a waterboarding machine to see if it's hiding any secrets about the KGB and its planted operatives.
Well, fun fact. All right, we'll go leave it there. So you're up, Adam. But you're muted, so unmute yourself. I can't unmute him. You have to unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Adam.
There, can you hear me yet?
Hey,
yeah,
there we go.
That's weird.
It's got
okay, let's start again. This episode is named after Mars's largest canyon, a 4,000 kilometer long tectonic wound created when the planet's crust split open.
What about
It's
Happy
deeper than-
Valley though? Come on.
It's deeper than the Grand Canyon by a factor of 4, and would stretch across the entire continental U.S. if placed on Earth.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh,
that is a big
homie,
valley.
Star Trek made a story about my canyon.
In this episode, there's actually a one real Jurassic Park puppet, or that they use basically. So they Rebecca, what's her name? Rebecca
Romaine.
Stamos.
Yeah, she
No,
yeah,
she doesn't
revealed
use
one of the
Stamos
creatures
anymore.
in the episode was actually a puppet used in the original Jurassic Park. The Enterprise is thrown across time and space after attempting to rescue, to get in the Category 10 interstellar squall. This actually mirrors a lot of Trek anomalies, the Naked Time, yesterday's Enterprise, but uses modern physics and language inspired by real quantum entanglement research. So I think there is a lot of the technobabble going on, but Palea just overlaps everything. I'm getting a little tired of it. The opening scene where Pike and crew are riding horses across the planet. It's a return to the Western-inspired early Trek, and it symbolically reflects Pike's emotional avoidance of Captain Patel's sacrifice.
It says, yeah, filming took place at an historic industrial complex in Hamilton.
Where that is.
Corey?
Could be.
There's no maybe okay. I won't talk about the TARDIS. We blew that one enough.
Yeah, we blew Doctor Who enough today.
Sorry about that one.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
That was for you, Jody. That was for you.
Okay, just a couple of parallels to the original series. In the original series, Kirk, of course, helps or hates in the movies, particularly hates being taken away from the captain's chair, and Pike echoes that sentiment in this episode. The horseback opening is a direct nod to the cage. You guys remember this? I don't remember this, but Pike's love for horses is a defining trait introduced in the very first episode ever filmed.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He was on a horse in like the opening scene, and then April comes down the ship and is like, "I got a job for you, Pike."
But that was in the first episode of Strange New Worlds as well. Because remember, he was out in the snowstorm riding.
Yeah, you're talking about the original series.
I'm talking about the original series.
The original pilot. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yep. Time travel to Earth's past, the classic TOS formula. City on the Edge of Forever, Tomorrow is Yesterday, and our favorite, Assignment Earth.
Well, it's not your favorite.
Yeah, well.
And my dad's.
I think it's an age
I like
thing.
Assignment Earth. There's nothing wrong with that episode.
Thank you, Ashley.
Of course, nothing wrong.
We all know it's Jody's hands down favorite episode of Star Trek ever.
Yeah, it's his like defining episode, really.
This is the defining episode.
It's his Mr. Firefly episode. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Mr. Assignment Earth now.
Yeah, he's Mr. Simon Earth.
I'm keeping my title. All right.
I like it. And then finally, let's just talk about the planets, because billions of years ago, Venus and Mars were habitable, or would have been habitable, but not 65 million years ago. Not habitable. They were done. Dead planets at that point.
Even Mars. So
Mars, yeah.
This is too much of a stretch.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why it's sci-fi.
Yes.
Sci-fi. Well, because
Science
if they had gone back
fiction.
billions of years ago, we couldn't do dinosaurs. That would be the
No.
difference, right?
And we needed
So-
the dinosaurs. Star
Oh,
Trek
that-
needed.
We wedged a
Way better.
fifth planet in the solar system so that their gravitational pulls made more sense.
I can dig that. I'm
That's
very
right.
happy with that explanation. I'm just saying, in the real world or timeline we're in today, not happening.
Yeah. And there's
Here-
some way we know this, I'm sure, right?
It's a fact.
Here
a
you
fun
are
fact.
trying to bring logic into a Star Trek conversation. Ugh.
Well, you guys were
Very
bringing it
vocal.
up. I just wanted to, clarify. That's all.
I'm just saying, I like this revisionist history that our Milky Way galaxy was a fifth planet that was between us and Earth, or between Earth and Mars. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so there, Dave, there you have it. There's not a lot, but there's a few things going on, and I'm happy with those ones.
Well, thank you, Adam. That was great. I got to say, too, how did we not have Justin Velociraptor on the episode with a Velociraptor?
I am saying this. We miss this guy. Justin, if you're watching, man, I hope you make some time for us again.
Yeah, he's
Just
been busy.
saying.
He'll pop in the chat every now and then, but we haven't had him on in a while. So anyway, so we are going to move into ratings. We don't have a ratings video yet right now. We are working on it. So look
Working
out
on
for
it. Working on it.
ratings. It's rating time. All right, let's score it. Okay, I'll start us off. I liked it. I thought it was an 8.4. That's mine. Ashley.
10.
10 from Ashley. Worldmind.
I was strongly leaning 10, but there was just a couple things that kind of like stood out to me. I'm thinking 9.8, but really, what's 0.2 points? I'm giving it a 10.
A 10
boy.
from Worldmind. Adam.
10.
10. Jeez, I'm a little low. Jim.
Considering there wasn't a lead in with like a part 1 into this episode, and they started off with a bang, I'm gonna have to give it a 10.
I'm the only one who doesn't think it's a 10. Okay.
Why is that, Dave? What makes you give it an 8.4?
For the things I said before, like I thought, like it didn't hit hard enough emotionally. Maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe if I watch it again,
think that's your own emotional stuntedness, Dave, and not the episode. The rest of us gave it a 10.
Could be.
Actually, he's right up there with IMDb right now with 280.
Well, I just looked that up. What is the IMDb rating? 8.3. So I'm actually a little higher than that.
Yeah, but you know what, Dave? We never.
I heard
agreed
it was a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
It was a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
like 100% perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I want to explain my 10. Strange New Worlds has had some major dips for me, and I was almost about to give up on it, considering all the other Star Trek shows have kind of failed me. This brought me right back into it, so I'm giving it, extra credit, basically. So that's why I gave it a 10. It brought me back in.
It's good to feel good again
Yeah.
about this show. Like,
It's good to feel. Is it any Firefly? I don't know, but it's.
Oh my god!
So
when you talk Monday reviews to Thursday reviews, this is going to be like 10s all week or all month.
I'm
or whatever.
expecting some high praise for Out of Gas. That's all I'm saying. I'm tempted to step in on that episode and talk about that one with all of you, because
we'll see. Jim's
Out of
trying
Gas
to
is one of
hold,
my favorites.
Murphy,
keep
you
the
should
flag
show
going
up to all of them because someone who actually likes the show should be on the podcast.
That's what we have.
You're token American, you're token Firefly guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Firefly. And you know what? Maybe this Monday we'll have just as many clips as this past Monday's show, because I noticed all the new clips from this past show, and there was a lot of them this week. So, and most of them at my expense. So, yeah.
Hey, that's all good.
Yeah.
So watch out for the clips, everyone. Make sure to check out the other stuff here on the channel. So Monday nights, currently we're covering Firefly. So check out Monday night, our next one, Out of Gas, as Worldmind mentioned. Season 1, episode 8 will be our next review. So look out for that. We'll be back in a week's time to talk about episode 2, which we mentioned, of Strange New Worlds, which is called The Griffin Incident. I'm guessing it has to do with it says the episode features Spock, Lon, and Kirk boarding an abandoned ghost-like Federation ship where an old mystery becomes a terrifying survival crisis.
They
It's
find a green
bushwhacked
candle.
again.
I love horror episodes.
So it sounds like a scary episode. and away team on a ship episode. So look out for that. We are also Aiming on Track just returned on the United Federation of Podcasts. Last night we were talking about the Jesse Wells album Middle. So my son Eamon back doing album reviews. He's got his second episode lined up for this Monday. It's going to be with Chris Murphy talking about the Proto-Man's Act 3, This City Made Us. So look out for that.
You guys are doing the Proto-Man?
Oh,
doing
Jimmy, you're a Proto-Man fan.
Awesome.
Amazing. Amazing. There's a reason I liked you, Jim. There's a reason I liked you. Yes, I told
know.
Eamon, if you want to do another Proto-Man review, Act 3 just came out, and it's a great album. So I'm looking forward to talking about that with him on Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, tune in for Eamon's podcast. He's back after a 2-year hiatus while he was at college. And if you have taste in science fiction, you definitely want to go check out our Trivial Debates 99th episode. It was called the Babylon 5 Trivial Debates. It was amazing. Jim was there. Jeff Aiken was there. We had the other guy there. His name escapes me right now, but he was really good too.
Finton Monaghan.
Finton Monaghan. Great guy. So look out for the 100th episode of Trivial Debates coming up soon with the original lineup. It's going to be a good time. All right. I think that's it. I think those are all the plugs. Can get out of here for tonight and say thanks to the entire panel. I'm glad we're back for Strange Worlds. I'm glad Adam's happy again more than anything, because I think that this has been some rough review periods.
For all mankind, bad.
Yeah.
Firefly,
Yeah.
And this one, yay, we're back.
We're back making pasta, mama. We'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.
Making pasta mama. Just add eggs, Parmesan, lightly saute, and it transforms from leftovers to something new.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mario Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.